Harold and Margaret Lewis had been married for 56 years when the town clock stopped chiming at noon. It was a small thing, really, just a broken mechanism. But to Harold, sitting on the porch with his coffee, it felt like time itself had paused to catch its breath. Margaret noticed it first, she always did. "Did you hear that?" she asked, stepping outside with her knitting. "Hear what?" Harold smiled. "Silence?" They laughed softly, the kind of laugh that doesn't need sound. Their house sat on the edge of a quiet Ohio town, white paint peeling just enough to show it had lived a life. Inside were memories stacked like old books, worn, familiar, and precious. Every morning they followed the same ritual. Harold watered the roses Margaret had planted decades ago, back when her hands were steadier and her hair was chestnut brown. Margaret made oatmeal and added just a pinch of cinnamon because Harold liked it that way, even though he never asked any more. They didn't talk much these days. Words felt unnecessary. Love had learned a quieter language, shared glances, slow walks, and the comfort of knowing someone would still be there when you woke up. On Sundays, they walked to the small park down the street. Harold moved slower now, his knee reminding him of winters long gone, but Margaret matched his pace without thinking. They sat on the same bench every week, watching children chase pigeons and young couples scroll through their phones, unaware of how quickly years could pass. "You ever miss being young?" Harold asked one afternoon, his voice barely above the breeze. Margaret thought for a moment. "Sometimes," she said honestly, "but I don't miss learning how to love you. I like knowing now." Harold reached for her hand, thin and warm, the skin marked by time. He remembered holding that same hand when they had nothing but hope, when arguments felt big and the future felt endless. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in soft gold, the town clock chimed again. Fixed at last. Margaret looked up, surprised. "Well," she said, smiling, "time's moving again." Harold nodded. "Good, we're not done yet." They sat together as darkness settled in, two lives woven tightly by years of patience, forgiveness, and quiet joy. In a world that rushed forward, Harold and Margaret stayed still, proving that love didn't fade with age, it simply learned how to rest. And that, they knew, was enough.